Normally, when working in P4V, you are connected to the Perforce Server. However, you might want to work in a location that does not have network access, or you might inadvertently lose access to your Perforce Server due to network problems or a server outage. In this short movie, we'll describe how you can continue to use Perforce without access to the server. If you know that you will be working disconnected from the server, go to the Connections menu and choose Take Workspace Offline. When you choose this option, P4V starts a specialized version of the server on your local machine. This server is automatically configured to manage your offline work. The first time you take a workspace offline, you're prompted to choose the files that you plan to work with while disconnected from the server. To conserve disk space, select the minimum number of files that you require by unchecking all unneeded directories in the tree. Note that only local depots can be configured for offline work. Remote and spec depots cannot be selected. In future sessions, you can always change the files selected for offline support by using the Offline Settings dialog. After you select the files that you require while offline, P4V asks you if you want to take the workspace offline. Choose Yes. While offline, you can add, edit, submit, delete, and rename files. Features that are disabled offline will appear as gray tabs and icons. While the workspace is offline, there are some important changes in the file status information that P4V displays. In the workspace and depot pane, file version numbers are reset to 1. This is because the offline server, now running on your local machine, only records the file history starting with the revisions you selected before going offline. Don't worry, when you reconnect and submit your offline changes, the online server replaces the revision numbers assigned by the offline server and continues numbering revisions from where it left off. Let's try some offline work. We'll check out a file, make some edits, and complete the submit process. You'll notice that jobs don't appear in the Submit dialog when you are offline. However, they will appear when you elect to take your workspace back online. Now there are 2 versions of the eBolt file available offline. While working disconnected from a central server, you can diff files and you can invoke the time-lapse view tool, but revision history is limited to changes you submitted after going offline. When you regain access to your server, you could submit your offline work by choosing Bring Workspace Online from the Connection menu. P4V prompts you to choose how you want your work submitted. The default selection, Review Work, enables you to review changes and choose which changes you want to submit. Auto Submit submits all your work immediately. Either option requires you to resolve conflicts if any are detected, as with any submission. We will select the Review Work option. Context-click the change list to bring up the Submit dialog. Alter the Perforce supplied change list description. Attach a relevant job. And select Submit. Now the work that you completed offline is stored in the online depot. After the first offline session, subsequent offline sessions start more quickly because the system copies only files that have changed since you were last offline. If you need to recover disk space that has been consumed by the offline file history, choose Clear Cached Data in the Offline Settings dialog box. Clearing the cache will cause the next offline session to start more slowly because it must restore the required files from the server. The preceding section told you how to work when you know you don't have access to the server. But what if you lose access inadvertently due to a network or server outage? In this case, you must manage the file permissions manually and reconcile your workspace with the server when you regain connectivity. Let's walk through that process. Context-click the workspace and select Reconcile Offline Work. P4V displays a dialog listing files that have been added, changed, and deleted while you were offline. From here, you can select the files you want to submit and P4V will create a pending change list containing those files. For a more detailed view, let's click Advanced Reconcile. P4V now displays its folder diff tool, showing the differences between your workspace and the online server and enabling you to decide how to proceed. For instance, let's ignore the offline server config file. The eNet file has been updated already, so we'll just get the latest revision. eStuff is new and must be added. eWidget must be checked out so that we can submit the changes we made while offline. Lastly, we'll ignore the P4 config file. Now we will close the folder diff tool and the Reconcile dialog and see the newly created change list containing the eStuff file open for add and the modified eWidget file open for edit. We will context click and choose Submit. Enter a description of our changes and click the Submit button. The files are now checked into the depot and our workspace has been reconciled with the online server. This concludes our overview of offline operations in P4V. For more details, other movies, user documentation, and more, consult the Perforce website. Thanks for watching.